Kevin here again. We're going to go over Event 2, Bulls on Parade. Again, this is not to scale, but the flow will look very similar to this, all right? We'll have a pull-up bar, then there'll be 2 boxes, a worm, and then tape line for start and end, all right? So here's how it's going to start. At the count of 3, 2, 1, go, the teams will start behind the far line. When I say go, you guys are going to make your way forward. One person will stay at the worm. The other person will go to the box or to the rig. In order to get to the rig, you must go up and over your box. The lanes are going to be relatively close to one another, so you're going to go up and over your box to get to the rig. Now, when you get to your pull-up bar, there's going to be a tape line in the middle of your pull-up bar. You must stay on one side, and we will tell you guys what side to be on when you get there. You will also always face outboard. At no time will you face inside the rig. You will do 20 toes to bars or 20 knee raises. These are your normal standards. If you're doing toes to bars, we must see both feet make contact with that pull-up bar at the same time, and we must see those heels cross the plane of that pull-up bar. If you're in the intermediate division, you must do hanging knee raises. Again, same thing. You guys are going to have those feet go behind that pull-up bar. Knees must be above that hip line when you guys get that rep counted for. If you decide to switch, because there is no minimum work requirement, so in theory, Coach Greg could do all 20 reps if he wanted to, but if you decide to switch, he must come over his box to the worm, switch with their partner where they will go to the same side that they were on and do their reps. Once they accumulate 20 toes to bars or 20 knee raises, they will then go into 10 worm thrusters if you're in the RX division, and if you are in the intermediate division, it will be 10 worm front squats. So let's show you guys a couple thrusters. They're not super warm, so we won't do too many. But here's what a thruster looks like. They're going to get that worm on their shoulder. Don't go yet. When they start, they're going to go down together, and then on the way up, they're going to take that worm to the other shoulder. They are not required to lock their arms out overhead before they get it over. They must just hit depth, both of them, and then get that worm to the other shoulder. So it looks like this. Full depth to that other shoulder, that's 1. Full depth to that other shoulder, that's 2. Relax right here, okay? So that's what the thrusters look like. You guys are not required to stop. If you want, you guys can go up and ride it right down into that next rep, so long as both of you are hitting depth. If one of you does not hit depth, that rep does not count. This worm will give you some pretty immediate feedback, because if Coach Greg gets full depth and Coach Rebecca doesn't, the worm will get all kind of crazy. If you are in the intermediate division, you're going to do the exact same movement, but you're not going to go overhead. So I'm going to have you guys do just 2 reps here. You guys are going to take that sandbag to your shoulder, and you're just going to squat. So you're going to hold it on one side. You determine what side you want it on, but you're going to do 10 squats. So let's just see 2. So 1 and 2. Once they hit 10, they're going to drop. So again, if you're in the intermediate division, you're going to get it to one shoulder, and you guys are going to do 10 synchronized squats. If you're in the RX division, you're going to do those thrusters up and over that head. Once you guys accumulate your 10th thruster or your 10th front squat, you will go into 20 synchronized box jump overs or step overs. For this demonstration, they're going to do step overs. If you're in the intermediate division, or I'm sorry, if you're in the RX division, you must jump. If you're in the intermediate, you get the option. You can jump or step. What we're looking for is at the same time, all 4 feet must be on the box. So when they get up, this is when the rep counts. If Coach Rebecca gets on first, she must stay there until Coach Greg gets there, okay? So again, if you guys are in the RX, you must jump. If you are in the intermediate, you get the option. If you're in the intermediate, let's say Coach Rebecca wants to jump, but Coach Greg wants to step, that's fine. 4 feet need to be on the box at the same time, and that's what we're going to call a good rep. Once you guys accumulate your 20th box jump or step over, you'll come back to your worm. You will do a 10-meter worm lunge. You're going to lunge out 5 meters, lunge back 5. Here's what we're looking for here. I'm not going to make them put the worm on their shoulder. Just understand it's going to be right here. When they start on the way down, the lead person must start behind the line. What we're looking for is when they step out, Their knees hit the ground at the same time. So start making your way down. Okay, and then they can come up. Now, you are not required to stop here. You can lunge through. Stop right here. Once you get close to the end of the line, the lead person's feet need to be behind. So this is in front of that line. So once she completes it, they are now allowed to drop, or they can keep the sandbag on their shoulder and turn around and come back. Now, on the way back, what we're looking for now is the rear person is in charge of this line. Okay, so it's no longer the front person. The rear person's feet need to be behind the line. They're going to lunge out. And just like before, once the rear person's feet cross that line, so they'll have one more step. Once she crosses that line, then they can drop that sandbag. Again, lead person on the way down, rear person on that way back. When you go down, you are not required to drop. If you want, you can turn, but you must stay in your lane and not get outside of your lane if you guys turn. If you guys drop the sandbag at any point, there's no penalty. You just have to pick it up right where you guys left off. So if they got in the middle of their lunge, they got off, they dropped, no big deal. They just stay right where they're at. The judge will put their foot where they need to pick it up from. When we get close to the end of the workout, one length is worth one rep. So if there's 10 seconds left and you get to the worm, unless you think you can get all the way down, that rep won't count if you are stuck in the middle when you guys get there. Okay? That's your worm lunge. RX and intermediate are both lunging with their sandbag. So you're not going to change the worm on the intermediate division. As soon as they hit their 10th or their lunge, their 10-meter lunge, one partner will stay at the worm. The other partner will go to the rig, up and over. We're going to do 20 bar muscle ups. Okay, so again, 20 bar muscle ups. After they hit their 20th bar muscle up, then they can switch. If you're in the intermediate division, you will do 10 kipping pull-ups. Strict, butterfly, kip, any of those are applicable and great. For the bar muscle ups, glide kips will be considered a no rep. If your feet cross the plane of the pull-up bar, when you guys get to the top, a no rep will be accredited. For the pull-up, we must see that chin break the plane of that pull-up bar in order for you guys to get up there. If anything other than your hands touch the pull-up bar, so no throwing your bicep on that bar and getting the other bicep on. If anything other than your hands touch that pull-up bar, a no rep will be given to you guys for your pull-up. Same rules apply. If you want to switch in the middle of your gymnastics, you can, but you must do that at the worm. And then you guys can keep that going. Again, there's no minimum work requirement. So if your partner is all able to do all 20 reps, then send them on their way and let them do that. But if you are going to switch, it must happen at the worm. Okay? Once your 20th bar muscle up or 20th pull up is done, you will go back to the worm and you will finish your round by doing 10 worm clean and jerks if you're in the RX division. If you're in the intermediate division, you will do shoulder to overheads. So let's show you guys a clean and jerk first. Starts on the ground. They're going to get it to their shoulder. They're going to get it to the other shoulder. That's one rep. Now, they can drop it and do another rep, or if they want, they can do a touch and go where they hold on to that sandbag and get to that other side. So this would be rep 2. That's the RX division. You're going to do 10 clean and jerks. We must see some sort of control at the shoulder when you go up and over. If you do a clean and jerk and then it just grazes your shoulder and goes down and you don't have some sort of control, then a no rep will be given to you for that rep. If you're in the intermediate division, you will do 10 shoulder to overheads. So you'll obviously have to do one clean to get it to the shoulder, and then you guys will just go to the shoulder. So 1, and then over, 2, let's do one more, and 3, and drop. You'll do 10 shoulder to overheads, okay? Good job. This part's important as well. Once you finish your 10th clean and jerk or your 10th shoulder to overhead, that is a tie break time. So we have a tie break time, and the chances that there is a tie for total rounds and reps, whoever finishes their first full round faster. If there is a tie, we'll own that tie break time. So as soon as you hit that 10th rep, a judge will write down your time. But as soon as you do hit that, one partner goes back to the rig for 20 more toes to bars, and you're going to AMRAP this for a total of 12 minutes. So again, 20 toes to bars, 10 worm thrusters, RX, 10 worm front squats, intermediate, 20 synchronized box jump overs, RX, step overs or jump overs for intermediate, 10 meter worm lunge, that's for both divisions. You'll do 5 meters down, 5 meters back, 20 bar muscle ups for RX, 20 pull-ups for intermediate, and then 10 worm clean and jerks for RX, 10 worm shouldered overheads for the intermediate division. Tie break time is once you finish round 1. Did I miss anything? Nope. Things about the rig. If you are not the world's tallest athlete, we will have like a box or a riser for you to jump up to, so you guys don't have to worry about the height of the box, or the height of the pull-up bar. We will tell you before your workout starts which side of the pull-up bar you're on, because across from you will be another lane. So we just want to make sure that you guys aren't hitting one another, and you will always face outboard. And a judge will tell you, if you're facing inboard, we'll tell you to drop and spin around. I think that's all of Bulls on Parade Event 2, 12-minute AMRAP, rounds and reps, tie break time after your first round. Thank you, good luck, we'll see you soon.